I'm chatting with Jeff Hyman, who's the startup therapist, and he's joining us today on Start Me Up. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And Jeff, you're actually an executive recruiter, and you have some best practices and unusual things that you found about recruiting, especially for growth companies.
That's right. So specifically, the number one most predictive part of the hiring process, and 91% of companies don't do it.
And what is it?
It is called the test drive. Some people call it the job audition, the dry run. There's a number of terms, but a test drive is essentially the process of seeing the candidate and putting them through a process where you can see their actual work product as opposed to just an interview.
And so you're saying coming in and working for a firm for 2 days?
It could be 2 days, 2 hours, 2 weeks, some sustained period of time where you assign a project, right? And you work with that individual to actually see how they perform. You're looking at a couple things, not just the answer they come up with, but the process that they use to come up with that answer. You're looking at their thinking. You're looking at how they interact with your team, hopefully in a group environment.
And yeah, I was going to say how they are working with your team, how they interact, what their personality's like, because clearly an interview is a very staged kind of an environment.
Think about it. It's a everyone has their game face on, right? And you're sitting in a white room, right? Maybe with a window and a cup of coffee, and neither party is really being the
nervous.
That's right. And you're not getting the genuine candidate. So some candidates that I've worked with, they interview okay, but in the work product, the test drive, they are amazing. And inversely, I've interviewed many candidates who knock the cover off the ball, especially maybe sales reps, but you put them on that test drive and you're kind of underwhelmed by the level of depth of thinking.
And this is kind of a way to auger down and find the real talent. I think you used the term Rockstar.
That's right. And there was a landmark study about 30 years ago that backed this up. They looked at every single factor: school, age, years of experience, whether you worked in the industry. The number one best predictor was the test drive, because you're seeing the actual work product and not just theoretical answers to interview questions.
Would this work better or worse in some industries?
I've seen it work in every job type, from CEOs to CFOs to sales reps to nurses. The key is to develop a test drive that approximates the work product that person will do on the job. And if you can come up with that product, that test drive, which by the way you can use in the future, right? So it scales really nicely. It's very predictive.
And tell me, what do the actual candidates think about this?
Candidates love it, and here's why. They get engaged, and they get an opportunity to see you, the hiring manager, in action too. So it's a bit of a two-way street, right? And we find that candidates are far more likely to say yes to an offer if they've been through the test drive. They're just more engaged, they're more involved in the process.
Makes sense. Jeff, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, great to be here.